which made like what, TV shows?
Beat the Vandal Buster.
Okay, Beat the Vandal Buster.
BTX or something.
BTX, that's right.
BTX.
Bo or something
No,
like
they
that.
just licensed the DVDs, but they didn't actually.
Oh, okay. And then AM Driver. Val went over there, Casey went over there, everybody went over there to work because they were in this beautiful facility.
Then like a big party, we felt fancy.
Yeah, we felt fancy. It was awesome. And so I worked up there for a little bit and I was like, okay, all these roles are coming. Okay, I'm going to quit teaching, I'm going to do that full time. In hindsight, that probably wasn't the smartest thing to do, but it ended up working out. Okay. So I went, I did Suzuka, and then I never left. I wouldn't leave. So they said, well, we can't technically kick him out. He does meet the age requirement for our grant money that we get each month. So we'll just put him at these shows, and I did these shows, and I got to know people better, and I met Vic very briefly when we were doing the whole Holic thing, the transition from Tsubasa Chronicles to Holic. At the time, we didn't know that Holic was going to, we didn't know that Watanuki was going to have his own show. We just thought that it was a one-liner. It was because it was literally, Vic had to do something else, which took him away from the Watanuki role. And so I was there, and I sound like Vic a little bit, or he sounds like me, or whatever. And so they said, step in the booth, new guy, and try this Watanuki line. The line was yes. I got behind the mic, and I go, yes. And go, okay, great, sounds good, call me talk. And so I was like, that's it, Watanuki's never coming back, awesome. Vic's going on to do Faye, cool. Well, that wasn't the case. And so Holic came around again, and I stuck with that, and just the roles were going along. And then how I guess I found out about Okatron was Sabbath. I get a call from
We gotta back up though.
Yeah, because we're skipping, we don't even know how that started, that's the video game started.
Oh, okay, yes, back up and fill in.
Yeah.
So just back up just a tiny bit. I left Funimation around 2004 or something, 2005, and I started my own company called Overtron 5000 because Funimation needed some help with directing video games, and I grew up in games, and my dad was a gamer, and I'm a gamer, and it just seemed to be the right decision. So Overtron started, and we're doing the Dragon Ball games, and we're doing other.
And you did all the Full Metal games.
Yeah, we've done the Full Metal games.
And he's got wood floors.
Yeah, and wood floors.
And a shaggy green carpet.
I've heard many a story of
The illustrious. Yeah. It's an orbiting satellite.
And it's
Justice
got a
League
really,
used to
really
be
short
a
toilet.
Yeah.
They got rid of Justice League though.
It was sort of it was a temporary building attached to the Justice League building when they were building the.
Oh, I remember
the
that.
Justice
And
League.
they didn't make good on their rent, so.
Exactly.
You took over.
Yeah.
You think Batman's rich.
So I started Overtron, and we started doing a bunch of stuff there, and then I heard really good things about this guy, Todd Haberkorn. All turned out to be incorrect, but
Yeah, but see, I was already recorded too far in, and you couldn't get rid of me.
Yeah.
Once again, just like Funimation, you can't get rid of me.
no, there's this guy named Todd Haberkorn, and we're like, we need to get our hands on this guy. So we brought Todd over to help direct and act as the lead in, well, I guess you're about to start telling that story.
But it actually began in Glass Fleet.
Oh, my
Yes.
God.
Last,
Way back in Glass Fleet days.
way back in the last weekdays.
Do you guys remember Glass Fleet? Did any of you see that show? Any of you see it?
Oh my God, wait a minute, you guys produced it. No.
Galaxy Railways, that's even less, did you see that?
I only know that you did it, and Travis always goes, feel my rent, and every time I goes,
Oh, wow.
It was last week.
See, I always,
So Salty Ray was the first show that you did at directed at Overtime?
Right,
I think
did I
it's-
see Salty Red? No.
Yes.
Sure.
Wait, but there is an important piece that we went from being a private company after very spun off to a publicly traded company and moved into a larger building at that point as well. We moved from the old facilities to the new facilities.
That was a little bit after Overtime got started.
No, it's
Who is
2004.
confused by this story? All right.
I'm just trying to piece it together too. This is fun. This is fun.
We're gonna put this all on paper on a blog somewhere in kind of a chronological order.
Yeah.
But basically, we all got started with random different acts of like a random different things got us into this business. Before doing this, I spent a lot of time in radio. I went to school at University of North Texas. I got a radio, television, and film degree up until about the last semester when I got that job at Funimation. And you know, I did tell you guys, I admitted earlier that I was not making much money there, but it was hands down the best decision I have ever made in my entire life. Like, if I decided to go with something else because they didn't pay enough money, I would not even be remotely here today. I don't even know what I would be doing. Like,
He is an opera singer. He's leaving that.
Oh yeah, he's an opera singer. He does anything that audio even touches. This man.
He can hear stuff only dogs can hear.
did you guys hear that? Did you hear the sarcasm?
But no, like I'll come in when I used to direct over there when we were still doing D-grade stuff. I would come in and he's doing stuff for Dallas Summer Musicals, Dallas Symphony Orchestra, all the video games, and I get to see all this cool stuff going on. They were doing Guitar Hero, Ghostbusters, and all that stuff. Just everything comes to Okatron. So when you're not in town for Funimation, you're going to Okatron, and he's done. Yeah, I mean that was another risky idea that worked out pretty well for you, I'd say.
Yeah.
So like Okatron is again, they got all somewhere for and a shaggy green rug.
Okay, would it help if we just kind of opened it up to some questions to maybe clarify some of these things? Oh yeah, sorry. I'm just so worried that everybody's so confused. Tell a good story, please.
Okay, all right. In the process, I'm going to lose all my credibility. So let me go on a limb and say I have absolutely no experience in theater or radio or anything. So to all of you who want to become voice actors, please don't follow my story. It's not a great idea. My acting experience comes more from the fact that I am a creator and I animate stuff, I come up with material, I create characters, and I was a general psychopath as a 5-year-old, and I can take Jim Carrey and Robin Williams. That's my experience. My interest in the subject came really early on in middle school. I apologize, but you actually kind of do tie into this. Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z were my two gateway anime. I was into those in elementary, middle school. And Yu Yu Hakusho came out in, I think, either the end of, I know this is going to sound horrible because this is forever ago. I must have been like 5th or 6th grade when Yu Yu Hakusho came out. And for some reason, something about opening up horrible cancel words. I thought that show was brilliantly executed, and I really think that Justin Cook put so much love and care into the acting of that series. And something about it, like, clicked with me. And at the time, do you guys remember a place called TV Tone? And that existed? It was like the free Wikipedia, but it was just for TV shows and movies. I was starting to learn about voice actors through that. I would start to give a crap about credits at the end. And I would, oh, that guy, Tom Kenny was this guy in this show, and this show, and this show, and he's SpongeBob in this show, and that. Etc. So I started getting that ingrained in my system, and now it's unhealthy. Like, I seriously know way too much. I'm a walking, talking, psychopathic database of voiceover crap. It's really, anybody that has ever met me can contribute this. But anyway, so I got interested in it. And it was never something that I wanted to do as my career, which I would also dare to say 90% of the time is not what you want to do. I want to be an anime dubbing voice actor. That's not what you generally want to do when you end up getting into it. Usually we're doing something else and you haven't followed it most of the time. That's what I've seen. So that said, I was always primarily focusing on creating cartoons and animating, which is what I'm going to college for. I go to the School of Visual Arts in New York City. Got one more year for graduation.
Congratulations.
Launch out into the world. Yeah, so I started going to conventions, and I was meeting people like, of course, like McFarlane and Salad, and I met people very recently. And I was getting acquainted with these people, and it was huge to me because they were just named on a website that I was seeing in the credits of the shows I watched. And suddenly I was just getting really, really interested in how the whole thing worked. So when I started making my own cartoons, my experience that I had by that point lent itself very well,